All right. So this is going to be my review of Five Ghosts Volume 2 Lost Coastlines. Yeah. So basically, just to catch up, Five Ghosts was a comic I've been wanting to read, and I managed to find all three volumes when I was at a comic shop in South Florida. So, managed to pick up all three volumes. I did a review of Volume 1. Obviously, this is Volume 2. And if this video does well enough, I'll probably finish... Actually, no, I'll probably finish the trilogy either way. I mean, I'm already 2 books in, might as well do it. So, yeah. For those who don't know what Five Ghosts is an Image comic about a character who is a treasure hunter in the 1920s, 30s era, named by the name of Fabian Gray. Basically, Fabian Gray is, like I said, a treasure hunter who found this thing called the Dream Stone, and in it gave him the abilities of 5 different people: Sherlock Holmes, Merlin, Robin Hood, Dracula, and the last person was Miyamoto Musashi. So yeah. He can basically, through those 5 spirits, he can like cycle through and use their separate abilities. But however, when he got the Dreamstone, his sister was left in a catatonic state. Ugh, couldn't get that word out. And basically, what happened in that story is that in the first one, it's him trying to like control the power of the Dreamstone and also find like a way to like keep it from killing him, because it was. In this volume, it's him finding a place called the Island of Lost Dreams. So this is more of a... There's also a special one-shot of him going to Japan and kind of expanding more of the lore. But the main story is that, look, I need to find this thing called the Island of Lost Dreams, and I have to find it in order to maybe get some answers. And he has to put together a motley crew of characters in order to do so. So there's the main story of it. Now, what I like about this series, and I said it before in the previous video when I did my review of Volume 1, is that if you love stories like, Indiana Jones or like Johnny Quest or things like that, you're more than likely probably going to like this comic. It invokes the artwork and the writing invokes so much of like classic pulp adventure stories, and the artwork also helps too. I mean, look at this shit, right? Like, it just invokes like classic like adventure stories, like your Doc Savage or Indiana Jones or things like that, and it gives it has such a deep idea to it. What also is interesting about this volume is that this series also goes on to essentially reveal that that wasn't the only Dreamstone. That wasn't, there are other Dreamstones in here, and there are other characters who can wield that power, like Fabian can. And they have different abilities. Like, there's one woman who has a Dreamstone that's connected to Sinbad. And this is more of like a story about going to this island, which feels very like it's very Ray Harryhausen. It's very reminiscent of like these you have giant monsters and things like that and lost temples. Again, it really has a lot of that feel to it. We also get a new enemy in here called Navid, who was kind of like an adopted brother to Fabian and his sister when they were kids, but there was a falling out and it led to bad blood, and he's kind of treated as he's basically treated as the main antagonist. Now, the one thing I do like about this book is, again, it's that adventure feel and all that, but there's one thing that does kind of bother me about this series, is that this series specifically, I feel like the other one had perfect pacing, is that I feel like the comic, even though it has like basically 6 issues to tell a story, it feels like we skip around a lot. It feels like we skip some very important things, and it feels like we kind of just rush to the end, which does end on a cliffhanger for Volume 3. So that's one thing I just didn't really like about it, is that this comic does have this it feels like it has pacing issues. But then again, actually no, that's kind of a problem I had, where it does skip around. It feels like it skips around a lot, and there's no real like hold on the story. And there's even like a useless moment where like there's a whole page of like Fabian's assistant looking at a picture of him with him and his sister all together, and he's like, good. And I'm like, cool, thanks. I don't think I needed that. I think that could have been served for a page of other things, but sure. So that one kind of got me. But yeah, it's still a solid story. Pacing problems aside, this does have a lot of good solid action, a lot of good solid story to it, and it's a decent follow-up. Do I think Volume 1's a little better than this? Yeah, probably because like this one just kind of like this one doesn't really connect to what the overarching story of what's going on, but at the same time, it's also like, wait till you see Volume 3 of what's this secret order that's hunting Fabian this whole time. But yeah, do I still recommend this series? Absolutely. Absolutely love this comic. And yeah, so like I said, at some point or another, I'll review Volume 3 and end the trilogy, but for right now, yeah. If you love like Doc Savage or Johnny Quest or Indiana Jones, pick up Five Ghosts. It's a cool supernatural story along the way, too. Anyway, so you guys let me know in the comments below if you read this comic. Let me know what you guys thought of it. Other than that, hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.